Despite the backlash of the last 12 months, the UTMB field is once again stacked. A who's who of the world's best ultra runners, with the women's race in particular without a returning champion shaping up to be an absolutely fascinating, wide open race. So when the Super Bowl of trail running kicks off on Friday, who should you be keeping an eye on and who will I be picking for the win? As always, let me know your picks in the comments below and remember to subscribe. Let's jump into it. Last year, Ruth Croft was cruelly denied her chance to toe the line when she picked up a virus during race week. And what an opportunity it was. The field lacked the depth of this year, and the great Courtney Dauwalter was 2/3 of her way through her historic triple, was on the ropes and clearly suffered more than we'd ever seen her before to get the job done. I'm pretty convinced Ruth would have spoiled that party had she made the start line. That's the calibre of athlete we're talking about here. Someone who could challenge Courtney, and there's only a handful of athletes in that bracket. She's now 2 years into training and preparing for this race. She's coming in fresh, which is a massive advantage over the other contenders, so I think the former OCC and CCC champion, who's also undefeated this year, takes the crown and completes the set. She's my pick for the win. I surely don't need to tell you much about Katie Schide, given the year she's having, with 2 unbelievable performances stateside, one of them being the second fastest time in Western States history. But she's now returning to the European mountains that are arguably where she performs best. The 2022 UTMB champion will be looking to win this race for the second time. This time though, she'll have that insane Western States run in her legs as she looks to complete the double. A double that Courtney Dauwalter made look almost routine last year, but many incredible champions have tried and failed to do, Kilian Jornet and Nikki Kimball being the only others to have managed it. And I think that'll be Katie's biggest challenge, as this field is just too strong to come in with any sort of fatigue or without the longer term specific training required to excel at UTMB. I think this will be a step too far for Katie, and I'm picking her for second, but you can never rule out someone as talented as Katie, and it wouldn't surprise me if she gets the double done. Whilst we're talking about the Western States UTMB double and how difficult it is to nail both in a single season, I'll quickly mention that Western States 2nd, 3rd and 4th place are also towing the line here. Esther attempted the double last year but ended up DNFing UTMB, so we'll be looking to improve on that. Emily Horgood has nailed the double in recent years, walking away with top 10s at both in a single season multiple times, and coming off her best Western States finish is surely on course for her best UTMB yet. Fejiao Zhang absolutely smashed her first Western States, finishing 2nd, and she finished 4th here last year. She also has a lot of back-to-back races on her resume, so I think she'll handle the double well, and I've picked her for 3rd. Blandine L'Hirondel is the highest place returning finisher from last year, her 3rd place finish rounding off an impressive 100-mile debut. Like Ruth, she's a former OCC and CCC champion, and her CCC finishing time is actually over an hour quicker than Ruth's. She also was the 2022 world champion over 80 kilometers and has a bunch of impressive sub-ultra results. Blandine is definitely up there with the best on the planet, so I don't doubt that she could win this thing, but as she's only ever raced the 100-mile distance once, and so much of 100-mile running comes down to experience, no one nails it every time, which is why I'm leaning towards the other women I've mentioned for the win. I've got Blandine in my top 5 though. Along with Blandine and Esther, there's plenty of Europe's best lining up, like Annalise Rousset, who has 2nd places at Hard Rock and Diagonale des Fous, last year's 5th place finisher Mate Maura, the relentlessly tough Claire Banwaf, who could challenge the top 10 if others blow up, and Ireland's Emma Stewart, who is my dark horse for a top 10, having won everything there is to win over here in the UK, as well as podiums at Lavaredo and Transgran Canaria, and a win at Tour de Gent last year. I also want to quickly shout out Abby Hall, as I would love for her to get her storybook ending to her career-threatening injury saga by getting a top finish here. I've popped her in my top 10 for that reason, but it's a big ask to make your return on the world's biggest stage. So that's my quick women's preview. There's just too many shredders to mention everyone, so apologies if I've missed your favourite runner. Here's my full top 10 Fantasy Freetrail prediction. Let me know your picks in the comments below. Join the Fantasy Freetrail mini league via the link in the description to see how your picks stack up against mine. Remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon with more ultra running content. Cheers.